Welcome back. In this lecture, we will be building and designing the themed section of our website. And what is the theme going to be? It's going to be our audience segments. When we're building a strategy, we don't really know which audience segments that will resonate the best with us. It might even be a completely different segment than the ones we've chosen. But the only way to find that out is to do the proper market research first and find the most likely audience segments. Check, we've already done that. And then build out the website with a theme section that is directly targeted to those audience segments, that speaks directly to them. And then later on in Google Analytics, we can see which one is generating the most traffic, which one is getting the best engagement, which one is generating the most sales, and we can improve our strategy from there. So without further ado, let's get started with our themed section. The first thing we want to do is to make sure that we have our market research worksheet up and prepared. So go ahead and go into the starter pack and open it up. Then we're going to go back, scroll down, and we're going to put the theme section just below the review. Again, we're doing everything in order of importance. The most important part is the hero section. Then we need the reviews or some sort of credibility to build up our reputation so the traffic knows that they can trust us. And then below, we want to speak directly to our audience segments. So all we need to do is hover our mouse over, click on the plus, and then we're going to click on the button all the way to the right because Sydney has a lot of great designs that we can use as a template and then design further. I'm going to click here, and then all I need to do is scroll down and have a look until I find a design that is, first of all, free, because there's a lot of pro features that cost money, but we're only working with the free stuff. So here is one that I've worked with before and that I really like. It's the pipe leaking version. Now, we don't really want to have an image of someone fixing a pipe, but this entire design is beautiful. So we have two sections here. We have one with the image to the left, we have one with the image to the right. What we can do is just duplicate this one so that we have a third section down below, and that way we can use our three different audience segments and then write out a nice headline, a nice body, etc., and speak directly to our segments. So all I'm going to do is click on Insert, scroll all the way down. I'm going to hold these 6 dots. I'm going to scroll up and put it in between the reviews and the top products. There we go. So now, as we can see, there are sections within the sections. Here is the entire section, but here is the second section, and here is another section. So there are subsections, and within these sections there are columns. This would be the first column, this would be the other column. We can reach the columns by clicking on the column button up here, and we can reach the section by clicking on the section button up here. So this subsection or intersection, if you will, is going to target only this part that is currently in purple. So I'm going to select the intersection, I'm going to right click and then click on duplicate. Then I'm going to select the duplicate and just put it just down below this second section, and there we go. Now we have one section for audience segment 1, audience segment 2, audience segment 3. So let's build these out and target them towards our audience segments. And let's do it one step at a time, starting with the images, moving on to the headlines, and then the bodies and the call to actions, etc. So I'm going to click on this image here, and then I'm going to click on Choose Image. Move to Upload Files, click on Select Files. In the starter pack, go to Website Building and then Product Images. We're going to move down until we find number 5. So this is going to be for one section, the next section, and the third section. And you can pretty clearly see that this is for the hikers, this is for the gym goers, and this is for the travelers. So all I'm going to do to save some time is to hold Command if you're on a Mac, Control if you're on a Windows, and I'm going to select all 3 and upload them at the same time. Click on Open. So the first section we're going to design is the hikers section. So I'm going to select the hikers image right here, and then go down and click on Select. So it's going to upload that image. The second section is going to be travelers. I'm going to select that image now, go to Choose Image, select the travelers image, which is right here, and then select. And finally, I'm going to go down to the third image, choose image, and then select the gym goers image, select. And there we go. Now let's move on to the headlines. So what should the headline say? Now remember, when it comes to user experience and design principles, we want to explain who we are, what we do, and why it's important. So we want to reach out and show them that we understand their core issue and that we have the solution. That's who we are. We are their problem solver. We are who they're looking for. And we've already done this work. This work is in our market research worksheet. If we scroll all the way down to identify problems and solutions, we have our key messages built here. Now, the key messages are built on understanding their problem, finding a solution, and then creating a marketing message towards them. This is where we will be using that marketing message. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to first find hikers, which is down here, and I'm going to select this text, the key message, just like this, copy it, head back, click on this headline, and then we have the title and the description down below. I'm going to select this part and paste it in. Now notice this is too much text. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to make it half and half. So the first part says clean, reliable, unstoppable, your ultimate trail companion. So I'm just going to divide this in a clever design where I'm going to take all of this other text, your ultimate trail companion, I'm going to copy it and put that into the description down below instead. And now it looks like this: clean, reliable, unstoppable, your ultimate trail companion. Very nice. We're going to further customize the design of this font later because the font isn't actually matching with the rest of our fonts, but we're going to just get the text in first. So we're going to move down to travelers, do the same thing, grab this text here, copy it, select this headline, paste it into title, divide it just like this, paste it in down below, and then do the same with gym goers. Select all of it just like this, copy, select the headline, paste it in, divide it like this, paste in the description. There we go. So next up, we want to write our longer descriptions. Because we've already done the market research, we should have a pretty good idea of what our audience segments need to hear. When you're working with clients, it's very important that these market messages come directly from the client's suggestions. While you are the marketer, they are the expert on their audience. Even if we've been doing the market research together, they, with their business, should know their audience better than you do. So when it comes to crafting these messages, we can create a rough outline, and I'll show you sort of the principles to use here, but they need to have the final say in what gets used in here. They should know their audience the best. But knowing what we know about our audience segments, I'm going to write something for our hikers like this. Rough trails and unpredictable conditions demand reliable gear. Our self-cleaning SmartFlow bottle ensures fresh, purified water on every hike, so you stay hydrated without worrying about bacteria, filters, or refills. Again, we're taking in their problems, we're giving them the solutions, and we're mixing up a little bit of the key message here with this being their ultimate trail companion. If you're looking for a rough outline, you can use ChatGPT, but I strongly recommend that you use what you know about these audience segments and together with your client to craft these messages. They don't need to be long, but they need to be directed to the segments. And later on in Google Analytics, we will see how well this is actually performing. But for now, we should do the best we can with the knowledge that we have. We're gonna move down and then work with travelers. So I'm gonna write, from airport layovers to remote destinations, safe drinking water isn't always guaranteed. With built-in UVC purification, our bottle gives you fresh, clean water anywhere. No need to buy plastic bottles or second-guess your water source. Speaking to their problems, giving them the solution, and again, this is showcasing our brand. We are their solution with our product. And finally, let's move down to gym goers. And I'm gonna write, your workouts push limits, and so should your bottle. SmartFlow bottle eliminates bacteria, neutralizes odors, and keeps every sip fresh, so you can stay focused on performance, not cleaning or refilling. Once again, when you write this, go back to your market research and have a look at gym goers, for example. What is the problem they're having? Is getting safe water from the tap and avoiding spills? What is the solution? Is the sterilization, the self-cleaning technology, and a leak-proof design? And this is what we're focusing on in this text. We need to speak to the audience segments with the best we can. So once we've set the outline of the design, let's add in some more details. I'm going to scroll all the way up. Now you'll notice, for example, I decided to make this button a little rounder. And the reason I made this button rounder is because it's a more modern look. Well, we can do the very same thing to these images. You'll notice these boxes naturally come in a rounded look, which is perfect for the way we're branding ourselves. These ones are completely square though. So what I want to do is just round them out a little. All I need to do is select it, move over to style, go down to border radius and just set a small sum, say 20 is usually good. And that is going to round out the corners. Now what I can do, and this is very interesting with Elementor, when I want the same thing on the other images, all I need to do is right click, click on copy, go down and then paste style. So that is going to paste the style that we've added in here, which is the rounded corners. Same thing here, paste style. So now we can see all of them have rounded corners. Very nice. Next up, we're going to change the font. I don't believe this is the font that we're using for the rest of our website. I think we got a different font with the Sydney block. So I'm going to click on it, go into style, content, and then typography. So we can see the font family here is Archivo Black. What we're going to do is go all the way to the top and it's going to say default. The default font is the font that we set for our entire website, the Poppins font for the header. So we're going to use that one and then make sure that this one is Roboto. So when we've changed this one, I don't think this looks quite as nice as it was when it was in the bolded letters with the capital letters. I'm going to try a different design instead. Instead of using uppercase, I'm going to try to capitalize them. And I think this is looking much better already. So I'm going to use it just like this. I'm going to make sure that the wordings down below here starts with a capital Y. So I'm going to click on content. I'm going to make that into a big letter. Clean, reliable, unstoppable. Your ultimate trail companion. I also like that this text goes on and then we end up with a finish or a dot at the end of your ultimate trail companion. And then we start a new text here. It's just my design preference. So this is looking much better. And if we want to apply this to the other ones, all we need to do once again is click on copy, scroll down, and then paste style. Now the P is still small, so I'm gonna make it bigger, just like this. Very nice. Same thing here. I'm going to paste style and then change the B into a big B. There we go. Looking much, much better. Next up, we want to change the buttons. So the button currently says more info. No, I don't want it to say more info. Rather, I want it to say something like shop now. I want the call to action to be clear and I want it to be strong. So I'm just going to click on this button and I'm going to change the text where it says more info and I'm going to change it into shop now. And then I'm also going to change the style. I want the style to be the same style as this call to action button. So we get the same style going through our entire website. This is important for user experience. Makes us look a lot more professional when there is a unison design throughout the entire website. This is why we try to use a minimum amount of fonts and a minimum amount of colors. It just makes everything look like one nice design piece. So I'm going to move up to the Shop Now button, right click and click on copy. We're going to go down and then right click and paste style. How cool is that? The only thing I don't like is that you notice that there is a space up above here. That is the one thing that changed. Well, there's a lot less space here. That's a nice design up here, but it's not a nice design in here. So to remove that space up on the top, I'm just going to click here on the button, click on advanced, and then where it says 40, I'm going to put it into 0. The margin decides how big the margin should be to whatever is on top. We could have margin to the bottom, to the right, to the left, but here we don't want to have any margins like that. So then what I'm going to do is that I'm once again going to copy this style, scroll down, and I'm going to paste it right in here. Paste style. Then do the same thing here, paste style. And there we go. Now I just need to change this text, shop now. Scroll down, change this text, shop now. Beautiful. This design is really coming together. Now, when we're using this theme and we're copying any form of style from up here, we just need to be careful because all of these ones have an entrance animation. I know this because I've been working with this style before. So that means that when this page loads, then this text is going to appear from somewhere. And then this text below, this piece of text is going to appear. And then the button is going to appear. It won't just pop in like normally when you load a website, but rather there will be an animation that makes it fade in. When we scroll down, we don't want to use those fade in effects anymore. So to see if there's any form of animation on it, I'm going to click on this button and then go to advanced. Scroll down to where you see motion effects and then see if there's any entrance animation. And right now it has a fade in animation. All I'm going to do is that I'm going to remove it, make it into none so there's no animation, and you're gonna see these animations later on when we preview the site, when we've finished designing it. The entrance animation is beautiful for the hero, but it gets annoying when it's all of the website. So I'm going to remove that one, and because we removed it here now, once again the easy way to make sure that it's removed everywhere is just to copy it once again, paste that style, and we're all good. So as always, when we're designing, I'm gonna scroll up to the very top. I'm just gonna have a look at the unison design, see if there's anything missing. There's a nice space in between here. I'm going to click on this section to see if there's any, nope, we are using a margin here. So there's a bottom margin, meaning that there's an 80 margin space here in between these two. That means that in order to make the entire design unison, we want to have the very same space down here to the top products. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this section. I'm going to go into advanced, and we can see that there is some margin at the bottom, but we're going to make it into 80 so that there is a unison. In other words, the same amount of space everywhere. That's gonna make our design look so much nicer. So I'm loving this design that we've created. The only thing I want to do right now that I can see is that I love this space in between here, but I don't like that there's another space that's equally big in between the button and the text. I would like these to be only one separation in here and have these tied together a little bit more. So in order to move this button slightly more up, all I'm going to do is I'm going to select this button, go to advanced, and then I'm going to put a minus number here at the top. I'm going to put -10. You could put -20. So -20 is just going to put these together a little bit more. And personally, I'm liking this design much better. This makes the button be tied together with the text a lot more. So once again, I'm just gonna copy it, paste style, and there we go. The theme section is designed. Now don't worry about connecting these buttons to the products. We're gonna do that later when we've actually added in the products, and then we're going to make this clickable so that they lead to, well, this is gonna lead to the green product, this is going to lead to the beige product, and this one to the black one. For now, the design is amazing and I'm very, very happy about it. Make sure that you're doing this with me because the principle here is learning by doing, and everything is going to make so much more sense as we continue on building our website and building out our strategy. So with this done, in the next lecture, we're going to go ahead and create our top products section. I hope you're having fun. See you in the next lecture.